I'm sure you've had this dream, being able to retire in a very leisure-like way as soon as possible. People think about getting away from their jobs, retiring early all the time, and escaping the rat race. And I'm here to say that you can use this financial tool called a Roth IRA to have a huge payoff, and you can set it up to retire early if you choose to do so. So let's go ahead and talk about maximizing your Roth IRA contributions in 2023 and 2024. I'll talk about the limits, the changes that have occurred. And one of the things that I want to say is that not all IRAs are the same. The two big ones are Roth and traditional. So, what are the biggest differences between these? I'll mention something because a lot of people toss around the phrase tax-free growth, tax deferral, and for people that are just getting started in retirement, it's very hard to understand what that is, especially when people are using tools like TurboTax to do a lot of the legwork for them. Most people aren't tax or financial experts. So let's go ahead and talk about this example. I used to give it when I used to be a financial professional. This was years back. And the example I would ask is, like, let's say that you had a bag of seeds, and these are apple seeds. And if you can imagine a big bag that went up to the height of my knees. And let's say this bag was 25 pounds and had, like, let's say over 16,000 tiny apple seeds inside this bag. Let's contrast that to growing all those seeds. And then you could see this, imagine this orchard. And this orchard would have 16,000 apple trees, assuming that none of them died or anything like that. So the question for you is, would you rather get taxed on those apple seeds that you purchased in this bag, again, like a 25 big bag, or would you rather be taxed on this huge orchard? And let's say that each tree was capable of producing 300 to 1,000 apples every year. So the quick answer to all this is that you want to get the smallest tax ding as much as possible, and that is getting taxed on the smaller amount, which is that bag of seeds, versus getting taxed on all those apples. And all those apples from 16,000 trees, it could possibly be like over $16 million or something like that. These are just rough examples, but I think you get the idea here. And so if you think about popular retirement vehicles like 401k, 457k, the government, or 403b, I think those are all different types of plans with some similarities. Those are kind of like the Roth, difference between the Roth IRA and the traditional IRA. So if you think about getting taxed on the bag of seeds, that's the Roth IRA. If you're thinking about getting taxed on that orchard, like ordinary income, that's all those other retirement options that I mentioned, including the traditional IRA. So let's talk about tax-free withdrawals. So talked about the whole idea about getting taxed, and that's throughout the growth, but then there's also what happens when you pull out the money. So through a Roth IRA, you do not get taxed. It's a tax-free withdrawal. All the other ones that I mentioned, they can be taxed when you withdraw the money, and pretty much you're being taxed like ordinary income. And there's also different rules that regarding distributions when you have to withdraw the money. So if you think about the Roth IRA, traditional IRA, all these vehicles for retirement that have numbers in them, pretty much, they do have their own rules, and they're meant to be long-term vehicles for stashing away your money and using compound interest. And if you think you could use them for short-term gain, and that is your main focus, that is not the main point of these vehicles. And so I'll talk about the contribution limits here. In 2023, the max that you could contribute is $6,500, and then in 2024, it's about $7,000. People that are over the age of 50, since they don't have much time on their side, they do have a $1,000 catch-up provision that they can contribute beyond the limits I mentioned. And then there are income limits. So not everyone can qualify for these. So as you see here for 2023, single filer is $138,000. If you're married, filing jointly is $218,000. Fast forward to 2024, we have some higher limits here. $159,000 for single filers and $239,000 for married filing jointly. So not everyone qualifies for this. It's a great benefit to have tax-free growth and tax-free withdrawals, but not everyone qualifies. And if you do qualify and you put more than the limits, then that can lead to a 6% tax penalty every year until you correct that. So keep that in mind. So what if you want to go ahead and start using a Roth IRA? Before you set up your account, think about the fees, the investment options. Not all of them have the same options. You have a difference in accessibility of funds, and then also the user experience, not just through the website, but even as a customer offline. You want to think about all those things. And then if you think about contributing to anything like funding, most of the modern strategies will work. You could set up some connection through your bank account. Some people will even use bill payments through their bank account. There are different ways, but recurring transfers will help you. It's kind of like a way to drip and do something called dollar cost averaging over time, which can be beneficial. And then what I meant before, that not all Roth IRAs have the same investment options. Some have the ability to invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, target date funds, and also REITs. I've seen others where some people, they really want to focus on gold. Some people have rolled over their 401ks into traditional IRA for gold. That's something I've seen before. And also some people have put their money into something that's insured, something called an annuity. So there are different types of annuities, people that want to pay for additional protection for their funds. And then let's talk about maximizing your Roth IRA, but making sure that you have a worry-free retirement. So what this is all about is being able to have the money that you need, that you're achieving your financial goals. And just remember that retirement, it's not about your age, it's all about your goals, how much you want to have and how much time you have to save. And just a very huge difference in this example is that a person that is starting their retirement fund, like let's say when they're a baby, like let's say the parents help start off this fund, versus somebody that is just starting at the age of 65. That's an extreme example, but these big differences, of course, will lead to huge results. And one of the biggest things is not being able to take advantage of the time that it takes for money to compound. So people that end up contributing late, then they don't have time on their hands. And when you are utilizing the power of compound interest, you can have your money double multiple times by the time you retire if you invest early. So here's an example. Let's say that you stash away $400 per month at the age of 25, and by the time you retire, you could have $1 million. And that is just a hypothetical example. It is realistic for some, for many, but it really depends. There are different conditions, and those can all impact how much you'll be making. But as you can see here, turning $400 a month, which is roughly the amount that people pay for a car payment, and they could create a $1 million fund by the time that they retire. So I talked to a lot of young people about this because especially guys I know, they like to invest in cars. They think that they're investing, but it's actually a depreciating asset, and it goes downhill over time for the most part. And compared to putting that money away into a retirement vehicle, that can lead to a very good retirement, having, let's say, multiple seven figures by the time that they retire if they save enough. And so one of the big questions I have is, like, let's say somebody's 25, let's say that they don't want to wait to 65. What can they do to retire early? Main thing here is being able to select funds that will allow you to achieve your goal. If you are very aggressive, you'll be investing in aggressive funds that have the capability of compounding and gaining interest at a faster rate. If you are, like, let's say, not into taking risks, but you want to retire early as well. It's very tough. The main thing at that point in time is that you have to be able to save more. And this can all be calculated. You could speak to a financial professional to help you if you're not sure. There's various retirement investment calculators online, but this is actually a good number. And if you could save more, like let's say $800 a month, $1,000 a month, it might seem like a lot. But what I found is that a lot of people, especially myself, when I was growing up, I was wasting a lot of money, whether that was on my car, clothing, and all these different things. There was a lot of money that I wasted, and I wish I made different decisions in hindsight, of course. But the choice is yours. After reviewing all this information, you now have the power to start saving your money, stashing it away to hit your financial goals. And hopefully at that point in time, you'll be able to get these huge payoffs with enough time on your hands, again, to allow your money to compound over time. And if you want to learn more about financial freedom, that's what my website focuses on at SmartWealthLifestyle. I have blog posts about retiring early and achieving financial freedom for people from various age groups, but check it out. I also have this YouTube channel where I provide video content on this as well. Thanks for watching.